So here I'm going to talk about the network simulation softwares, what kind of softwares we can use to simulate our environment, like routers, switches, wireless access point, and these kind of things. So in our Network Pro, we are going to use Cisco Packet Tracer, which looks like this one. Other than that, we also have other simulators available, which are like Boson NetSim. Then we have GNS3, we have Viral, we have EVE-NG, we have WebIOU, then Cisco CML and Cisco Sandbox. So these are the alternative solutions opposed to the Cisco Packet Tracer.
Yeah, and we want to use Cisco Packet Tracer. One is because it's kind of like the recommended from Cisco, right, Kamran? And
Yes.
also because we want to start with how normal network engineer usually learn things. You don't want to just jump into a hardware right now, or a hardware, because you do
Yeah.
have in phase 3, you actually have a hardware access, but as a network engineer, you have to first uh, practice, and you have to first do something, or even create a scenario or diagrams or a topology that works in this type of environments. That's actually a normal practice from network engineers. You don't just buy stuff and then do these things, right? So it will be crazy, because if you buy equipment and you have run the topology and it doesn't work on those equipments, you would be in trouble. So understanding network simulations is actually a key part of your skills. And you have to be very serious on this. You have to install this on your own systems. You have to play around with it. You have to kind of play with this, that you feel like you know this stuff. And how are we going to do this with Cisco Packet Tracer? We are going to give you documentation, and everybody will have their own access to the NetCAD. That's the Academy. The from the Cisco side. So usually you get this from them for free, and it's very powerful. We all use it for whenever we need it. So that's what you guys will be doing in the practical side of this after this session. When I give you the documentation, step by step, there's going to be like screenshots, and you will download it, and you'll just do the same thing what Kamran is doing today.
Yeah. So another useful feature in the Cisco Packet Tracer is that we have everything pre-configured, like these switches we have already available. What does I mean? The pre-configure means they have some kind of iOS images that I talked earlier. When you will drag and drop, this operating system is available there. But when we talk about the GNS3, EVE-NG, WebIOU, the problem is uh, it requires a lot of technical details. You need to, first of all, have these iOS images. You need to download from some website these iOS images for GNS3, for EVE-NG, for WebIOU separately. And then you need to configure uh, in these environments to work with these switches. But in Cisco Packet Tracer, you need to do nothing. Just install this software and everything is inside this package. So this is the benefit of having this Cisco Packet Tracer. Very quickly, you can even create a CCNP level topologies inside it, and you just can get your hands dirty with those devices, which is very
Yeah, and
beneficial.
at some point in CCNA, maybe we'll do like a lab on something more advanced, just to show you the capabilities of something else, because it has more advanced stuff. So maybe we'll do that later on. And
Yeah.
Kamran have an example of that too, like how advanced it can get, with other things too. So, but we're gonna stick to Cisco Packet Tracer in this training.
Yeah. In Network Pro, we will be just stick to Cisco Packet Tracer, and then maybe in CCNA we will do some labs on GNS3 as well in CCNA. Because Cisco Packet Tracer has some kind of shortcomings, like If I want to go a lot in detail, it is not going to give me those things which I can get in a GNS3. Then just I added this thing just to make you sure that how powerful these simulators are, which I'm talking about the Web IOU. In 2019, we were given this topology, which I'm going to show you, but not to scare because this is nothing, just different routers, multiple routers are connected with each other. So just I'm giving you the strength and the power of this.
I see Christelle and Haifa looking at this and they're like, wow, this is easy. I can do this like right now.
I'm sure they will say one day.
So, I mean, the concept of this is that at the end, you look, we all look at this image and most of us would just get scared of it. At the end of everything, at least you will be looking at it and you will understand what's going on. Correct, Kamran?
Yes.
But not, of course,
yes.
not because see, in Cisco engineering or Cisco level, or it has so many advanced levels. So of course we are not, because this is a junior network engineer. You're not supposed to now take stress of looking at this and like, wow, I need to understand every single thing in this, because that's CCIE level lab right there. It's a way beyond our network junior level. So we are going to start with something that you will get into a company. You will be able to manage switches. You will be able to manage routers. You will be able to troubleshoot things. You'll be able to understand technology. You will be confident on how networking works, and you will be able to move around network with no issue. That is our goal. Our goal is
Yeah.
not to make you CCIE right now, right? So don't get
Yes.
too stressed at looking at this image like, oh my God, I got to learn this stuff. So
No, so this is just slide I added just to, give them an idea how strong this Web IOU, the simulators are. Means instead of purchasing these devices and which gonna cost you a lot, you can just import this kind of labs and you can do whatever you want to do with these routers and switches. So this is the strength of these simulators, by the way. So these are just the symbolic representation of the devices. Like this is a desktop computer. We have this laptop look like this, and this is server. These are the multi-layer switches we're gonna discuss in CCNA, which is having the capability of layer 2 switch plus layer 3 router. Otherwise, we have separate device for the routers and separate for the switch. But if we combine these two things, it becomes multi-layer switches. These are also known as MLS. Then we have these hubs, LAN media, wireless, access point, firewalls, and these kind of things. You
and
should be familiar.
one of the common tasks that you're going to come across, even as a junior network engineer, you may be given a task to, can you redesign the network? Okay, yeah, you don't need to understand a lot of advanced stuff, but can you redesign this big diagram that we created? Now, if someone give you something like that, you at the junior level should still understand these icons and everything, right? You cannot, like, you wouldn't be making a mistake of putting a wrong icon on a wrong place. It's just gonna look pretty bad, right? So you're gonna come across this. Trust me, we always come across this when we work with even different type of vendors. Like, there are security vendors that will come in and say, hey, can we have your network diagram? And sometimes it's not up to date, and you'll have to update it on the fly. And of course, then you need to know about these different,
Yeah. Just by looking at these topologies and these icons, you will understand that what is going on. So that is the basic idea. You must have an idea what is this thing and what is this thing, what is this thing. Just by looking at those, the things pop up in your mind that okay, he's talking about this LAN switch. Maybe this thing is not be written there, and this thing is not written there. Maybe these titles are not there. So this is how you just should be familiar that if this thing is there, it means this is router. If this thing is there, it means it is switch. So let's do some hands-on labs on a Cisco packet tracer, and I will show you. And by the way, Danish will share the information how you can install the packet tracer on your Windows machine. Okay, Danish, you can
Yep,
have
I will give a documentation so everyone
yeah.
will be creating their own profile in that website, and everyone will have this access that Kamran is actually going to show. So today Kamran is going to go over some of the basics of that, which you guys will then download it, and you will be doing certain things that we will ask you to do. Not too much, it's just to kind of make sure that you are following with this live sessions from now on, because things are going to get more practical, and we want you to get involved with this type of stuff because it's really what you're going to do at work.
Yeah. Otherwise, in a short, just you can type netcad with the Cisco packet tracer and write download netcad on a Google, and you will see so many search results, and then you can go through and download the latest version of Cisco packet tracer. So I'm going to get you familiar with the environment of packet tracer first of all. You can
So once you download everything, when you go over my documentation on your desktop, you're gonna have similar like icon like that. And once you open it, this is kind of like the screen you will see. It may have like a welcome thing. I'm gonna explain that in my document, but this is like a fresh design that he's just creating right now. I'm just working on different features that it provides.
so can you see Danish?
Yep, we can see it.
Okay, that's nice. So
Yeah.
this is the landing page of your Cisco packet tracer as it is written, Cisco packet tracer. Then we have this area. Let's say we are going to draw our topology here just by dragging and dropping these devices, which are, if you will see, it is written router. Just click on that. You will see these all routers here. And whatever written beneath of these routers, like 42331, 4321, these are the versions of these routers. Then if you want to go into the category of switches, just click on the switch and you will see we have multiple switches with the different versions. And these kind of like 3, 5, wherever you will see starting from 3, these are the multi-layer switches. And these are the normal switches. These we have talked about, these are the routers. And this is written clearly, it is a bridge. Okay, so you can just drag and drop into your this working environment, and I will show you how. Other than that, if we want to add computers, PC, servers, you need to click on this end devices icon, and it will show you the list of like PC, laptops, servers, printers, IP phone, TV, wireless tablets. They have so many things. Then if you are looking for like wireless kind of devices, you can go into these network devices, and then you need to click into these wireless devices, and there you can find the wireless devices as well. And similarly for the ASA firewalls and these kind of things, you just mouse over on that, it is written security. And we have these devices which are ASA firewalls. Okay. So for example, I want to create a very simple topology with having, let's say, 2 computers connected with a switch. Very simple topology. How are we gonna do this? Go into the switches and just pick out any devices. Let's say 2960. Just drag and drop into your drawing environment. And if you want to change the name, you can change from here. Like you can type access layer switch and hit enter. Then you want to add two computers, just select end devices, drag and drop this PC here, and drag and drop this PC here. Now we need a physical connectivity. So for that, where you need to go, as you can see these kind of symbol. If you click that one, you can see we have multiple kind of cables. Just mouse over, you can see automatically choose connection type. I cannot do this, but you just take a look here. Like here it's written USB. If I mouse over here, it is written automatically choose connection type, which is like, if you don't know what kind of cable you're going to use to connect this PC with the switch, you can use this automatic choose connection type. But I recommend don't do this. Otherwise, you will not get the concept of like which you are going to connect with the straight through cable, which you are going to connect through crossover cable or the rollover cable. Then if you mouse over on that, this is written console cable. And we know that it is a rollover cable for uh, initial provisioning. Then we have this straight through cable, and where we use straight through cable, and then we have this crossover cable. And these things we will not touch. Maybe when we will go into CCNA, then we need to use serial kind of cables. And as you can see, I was talking about the octal cable. As you can see, octal cable is written here. So you can search out more about what is octal cable, and you will have a better idea about this cable, where we use and what kind of scenario we have to use this cable. So currently I cannot listen you. Otherwise I would have asked a question for connecting these things, what kind of cable we're gonna use. And I'm sure you will be giving a right answer, which is a straight through cable, because these are unlike devices. So from switch, when you will click, you will see multiple interfaces will appear. I told you switches come up with either 48 ports or the 24 ports. As you can see, these are from 0/1 all the way to 0/24. Then fortunately, it also has 2 gigabit Ethernet ports as well, if you want to connect with the gigabit Ethernet port. But for that, your PC must have, compatibility with this gigabit Ethernet. Otherwise, you will get some kind of errors or, some degradation in your networking environment. So we want to select fast Ethernet 0/1 on this switch port, and then just click, and then we have fast Ethernet 0. This is your network interface card. So just click on that. Just clicking, you will see the symbol is green here, and this is amber. And I told you what amber does it mean. When it is go through the initialization process, it will be amber. And once it is green, it means it is connected, and we have the activity and some kind of some configurations going on. As you can see, now it is active. And we will learn about this, why it is amber and then green. It has to do with the spanning tree protocol, which is going to discuss in a subsequent slides. Similarly, we are going to select the straight through cable because we are going to connect this computer with this switch. So just click on this one. And now you can see fast Ethernet 0/1 is disappeared. Why? Because it is already consumed here. So you need to select fast Ethernet 0/2 and then click and fast Ethernet 0/0. So as we can see, this simple topology, just within a 2 or 3 clicks, we created it. Then you can see we have some labels like fast Ethernet 0/1, fast Ethernet 0/1, 2, and 0. If you don't want to see those labels, what you can do, you can go into the options, then you can go under the preferences. Under preferences, you can see it is written always show port labels in logical workspace. If I just can show you like this, if I click on this one, you can see disappeared. But I kind of like this thing because I want to see on what port I'm connected basically. Other than that, I don't want to touch everything. Other than that, for example, if you have some visual issues, you can just play with these size as well. You can increase or decrease the font size. So I usually keep it to 12 or 13 or 14 even. Let's make it 13. And then this is for the CLI. For example, the command prompt. If you want to see that, it has a different method of increasing the font. So you can go and click 13 and click apply. And if you notice, now the fonts has been increased. As you can see, everything has gone bigger. So just decrease the size because 12 is much better. So just decrease the size and click on the apply. You will see now everything has been reset. So we are here, and in this topology, I just want to ping from this device to this device. So currently, as you know, these devices has no any kind of IP configured on these devices. So in order to configure IP to these devices, just click on this computer icon and you will see something kind of this. And it is going to show you like the CPU. As you can see, if you zoom in, it has a power button and you can see LED is green. So if you click power button, you can see it is off and you can see the label has turned into red. It means your computer is off. But on other hand, as you can see, because the switch is also negotiating with the PC, this link is also down. But as soon as I will click on this power button, you will see again it will go through the spanning tree process and it will be green once again. But it will take a little time. So I will not go a lot in detail what are these, because these are different modules. When in the future videos, if we require, maybe we have to add kind of wireless devices on these CPUs. We can attach these wireless components on these modules. You can remove these modules as well. And I will show you in a router or the switches as well in the switch. So my task was very simple. I just wanted to give the IP to this computer. So first label these computers, because labeling is also a very important part. So here we have the labels. As you can see, it is in place a node. So click this one and click on this, and you can type like 192.168.1.1. So I want to give the IP to this computer 192.168.1.1, and this one is 192.168.1.2. So labeling is also a very good habit. So keep track of your network topology. After that, we have to give physically IPs to these PCs. So as I said, just click on this one. So we have two methods to provide IP. Either you can go into the config and then interface and fast Ethernet 0. As you can see, it is connected with fast Ethernet 0. From here, either you can go for the DHCP option or the static IP address. So you can put like 192.168.1.1 and subnet mask will automatically will appear. If you're not happy with that thing, because we are very used to with our Windows environment, so what you can do, we can go into the desktop. So this is the desktop of your computer, and you can see we have so many things. What we're gonna do, we just want to configure the IP. So as it is written, IP configuration. So click on this one. Again, we are on an interface fast Ethernet 0, and we want to provide this IP statically. So we need to go under IP address and type the IP 192.168.1.1 and press tab. Automatically, subnet mask will be appeared. So there is no any kind of apply button to apply this thing. So what you have to do, just from here, close this down. If you want to verify again whether the IP is configured properly or not, just click on that. Go to the IP configuration and you can see the information is still there. Now we need to do the same thing on the PC 1. So the same method, either you can go config fast Ethernet 0 or under desktop, we have IP configuration. Click on that. And IP address is 192.168.1.2 and hit tab and you will see we have subnet mask. So just click on that and close this one. So at this time, we have the IPs configured for 1.1 and 1.2, and we know the switches by default, they broadcast the traffic. So we don't need to configure any kind of thing in the switch. But if you want, you can just click on this switch icon and just click on that, and you will see the same, the switch that I shown you in the slides kind of demonstration. You will see the same things here as well. These are uplink ports and these are the 24 ports. And the same, there's LED status here. Okay. If we want to go into the CLI or the iOS of this switch, you just need to click on the CLI and you can see we are in the CLI mode or the command prompt. So I'm not gonna do any kind of thing here, otherwise you will be confused. So just click, close this one. And I just want to ping this device to this device. So what I need to do, again, click on this icon. And now we have same like in a Windows, we have command prompt. Not to confuse with terminal. This is something else. This is this will be used when we have to access our device using the console port or rollover cable or the console cable. So we're gonna go under command prompt. Just click on that, and you are familiar with this environment. This is command prompt. If you do ipconfig, the similar information that we usually get in our Windows environment, we have the same in here as well. So you can see the IP address we applied 192.168.1.1 for this PC0 and with the subnet mask. So from here, I want to ping this device. What you can do, ping 192.168.1.2 and hit enter. As you can see, the reply is coming. So it means we have end-to-end connectivity. So the request is going to the PC1 and PC1 is replying back. Similarly, you can go into the PC1, the command prompt, ipconfig. We have the IP configured 1.2 to this device, and then you can ping 192.168.1.1. Now you can see we have very good connectivity. So you can see the power of Cisco packet tracer. Because I'm demonstrating, that's why I'm taking time. Otherwise, when you will do the lab, it will be like maybe in a minute, you will be able to create this kind of topology.
I just wanted to add that I've used Cisco Packet Tracer before, and it really is very straightforward. It's not difficult at all.
Yes, it's very simple. And even for the CCNA level, and even for the CCNP level, if we will use this with a lot of consideration, you will see, means don't let this simplicity for the Cisco Packet Tracer. There are so many things you can do in Cisco Packet Tracer, which I'm going to show you. So let's remove this topology. How you can, for example, if you want to remove this cable, if you want to replace this cable, what you can do from here, you need to select this one. It is written delete. Select this one, and you can click on this one. See, the link has been deleted. If you want to delete or remove this device, just click on this one. Click on this one. This is how easily we just remove these all topology. Okay, then let's talk about the stack wise or the rack or the chassis we talked about in the earlier slide. We can do here as well. We can demonstrate that thing here as well. So for that, what you need to do, you need to go under this physical. So let's click on this physical.
Kamran, would it be better to just do a little switch overview in here before we jump into that?
In a subsequent slides, I'm gonna demonstrate the switches as well.
Switches, okay.
So this is just the overview of Cisco Packet Tracer.
Okay, perfect.
So,
okay. Got it. I was just thinking. Okay, thank you.
So what we're gonna do here? Let's say we have a rack, and you know what rack is. Then I want to add the switches in that rack. Let's say we have 3 switches, 1, 2, and 3. Then we have a router. We will add one router as well here. And then let's say we have one wireless access point, and we want to add this wireless access point as well in that topology. So instead of creating that that thing that we are doing from this logical section, we're going to do this from the physical section, just like you do in your physical rack environment, in your production environment. So what you need to do, after clicking on the physical, then you need to go and click in this intercity, and it is written here rack, and select jump to selected location. Click on that, and now you can see we have this rack available. And this is power distribution device, not to confuse with patch panel. No, it is not patch panel. As you can see, the power is going on here. So this is just to give you the power supply. And this rack has nothing installed yet, which we're gonna do right now. So what I did mentioned earlier, that I want to add 3 switches according to our topology, let's say. So you need to go into the switches, and let's select this one and drag and drop, drag and drop, drag and drop. And it is labeling here switch 1, switch 2, switch 3. If you want to change the name of these switches, just double click on this one and go under the configuration, and here is the display name. You can change the name like access layer switches. And as you can see, the change has happened here. Similarly, you can click on this one, and under configuration, you can type like switch for marketing or something like that. And this one, let's say the core switch. If you want to zoom in, we have this plus symbol. Just click on that. As you can see, we are able to zoom this rack, and we can see these switches and these all things clearly. Now we have to add the router. Although this module only talk about the switches, but we are just adding just for the information. So we can pick like this switch router and just drag and drop. And you can see the clear difference between this the switches and the routers. And these are the modules which are empty. And if you want, we can fill these modules as well. How? Just double click on that. And you need to switch off this router first of all. Just switch off. If I zoom in, and you can see we have the button. And I told you in the switches, we do not have these buttons. So what you can do, just drag and drop these things here. This, no, then wick cover. And then you can, like these are the wick slots. For the wick slots, you can drag and drop here. And you just can cover these things if it is looking bad. Okay, so this is how I just added this module as well, which has one Ethernet port, and this is I think this is for the serial port. Yeah. So if you don't want this, just drag and drop somewhere else in this area. And if you want to add another like Ethernet module, you can select, for example, fast Ethernet module from here and just drag and drop here. As you can see, we have 2 Ethernet ports for fast Ethernet. So this is how, like, you can add these modules very quickly to your devices. And then you need to power on this one again. So now it is looking better as compared to before. Then let's suppose we want to add one firewall device. Select the security. We have 5506 and 5505. Let's say 5505 and just drag and drop. And this is ASA firewall, as also we have installed in our rack. And then let's say we can pick one Wi-Fi device as well, just for a fun. And let's say this home router. Just drag and drop this in a rack, and you will see it has added another table, and on top of that we have this wireless router. Now we want to connect these routers just like a stack wise. I told you, in a stack wise fashion. So what we're gonna do, what kind of cable we're gonna use to connect switch with the switch, it will be the crossover cable. So very carefully you need to select the crossover just by looking here, what is it saying. So select crossover cable, and let's say, first of all, let's make on switch 1, we want to connect 23 port with the switch to 24 port, and then this switch 23 port with the 24 port of this switch, and then in the last we want to connect this 23rd port to the 24th port of the first one. So this is how stack wise will process. Means these all switches will be interconnect with each other. 23rd port is connected to 24. Then 23rd port of second switch is connected to the 24, and then third switches which has 23rd port, it will be connected with the 24 of the first switch. So this is how these all will be interconnected with each other. This is called stack wise. So which I'm going to create here. So you need to select the cable that is, I told you, crossover cable. Just click on this we need to select the fast Ethernet 23, and we are going to connect with the 24 or second switch. Then again select the crossover cable. This time the 23rd port of this second switch we are going to connect with the 24th port of this switch, the last one. Then to have this full connectivity as a stack wise, then I need to select crossover again, then select 23rd port, which is going to connect with the 24th port of the first switch. So this is how we are going to get the redundancy as well. So in your production environment, this is how you are going to connect. For example, if you have 3 switches in the same fashion. So this thing is called as stack wise. And you can clearly see the port has started to initialize.
And it's really cool to play around with this stuff and just kind of, you know, I would say do this in a practice, because if you go to a company, think about it. If they were to hire you as a network engineer, you are not going to set these things up. Most likely you're not going to be going there and doing these things, right? So we get hired in the real world environment when things are already set up. And it's pretty confusing, right? Like when you're a beginner and you go to a data center and you see something like that, what we are seeing in the image right now. So now you have this capability to first, you have this capability to play around with this, like, you know, if visually, then you can actually work on it as well internally in these systems, which makes it like super, it gives you a lot of confidence. But keep that image in your mind that if you were going to get hired as a junior network engineer, things are going to be already configured. And that's where a lot of people lose confidence, right? Because they're not used to that kind of visual stuff.
Yeah. And this thing you will not find in other simulators like Boston NetSim or GNS3. No, you will not find this kind of, environment like you have the rack, and like, I can feel like I am sitting in my IT closet and I'm just configuring these switches and just sliding these switches into my rack, and then connecting these switches one by one with the cables.
And I feel like when I'm looking at this, you know, you have another capability from test out. Those are really good too. You know, if you can combine learning, of course, this is a little more into Cisco and everything is a little more, but that also gives you a lot of visual confidence. So I would highly recommend do your labs, you know, pretty seriously in the test out, and then do this right here, like, you know. And I feel like by the end of even Network Pro, you would be able to manage basic networking in any company.
Yeah. So at this stage, for let's suppose I just don't want to go a lot in detail how to connect these things. And by the way, this is fiber, this is FX is mentioned, and we
Yeah,
know this is.
I was gonna stay in the middle, but then I was like, let me just finish.
Yeah.
Maybe just that.
Because
Okay, yeah, sounds good.
I saw this fast Ethernet here, so that's why. By this module maybe for fast Ethernet, if you just cut down this thing and you can put here as well. But this is for fiber. And wherever you will see these yellow labels, these are your fast Ethernet or Giga Ethernet. And wherever you will come across this light blue thing, it is your console. This is also a very good indication. Just not by looking these ports, just look these the color scheme, and you can distinguish between fast Ethernet ports, Giga Ethernet ports versus the control ports.
And a network, as a network engineer, you'll be surprised how many times you have to actually come over here and change things. Trust me. Yeah, we buy a switch. Okay, that's true that we buy a switch and we don't replace switches all the time, but you do come over here at the back and you do change things and update or upgrade switches. And if you were going to work for a networking company, yes, that is your job. Then you're working with many clients. So imagine how many other clients are using old systems, and you'll have to do this work for them to go ahead and say, hey guys, yeah, so I checked your switch. you're on an old switch and you guys are using, we need this module. So let's go ahead and get that. How many? 3, 4, 5, blah, blah, blah. And that's how they work with us, you know, almost all the time.
Yeah. So if I will take you back to the logical topology, you will see just now we stacked, see how it looked like. So the 23rd port of this switch is connected with 24, and then 23rd of this one is 24, 23rd is then with the 24 of the first switch. So the same thing that we have seen in physical layout or the diagram, you can see the logical diagram as well. So this is also another thing you have to keep in mind if somebody is talking about the logical topology or the physical topology. When they talk about physical topology, this is how it looks like, the physical topology, where we have hardware devices connected with each other and you can see. And this is the logical topology.
You know, because logical could also have virtual systems that you can see, and it could be used in a production. And there are, even in networking, we do use sometimes virtual stuff. So then you'll have to understand that if somebody's talking about that and they say, hey, can I have a logical diagram or anything like that, then you would have that consideration in your mind that maybe they have something, you know, I'm seeing something different, a lot of different things. What are those? It could be virtual systems.
Yeah. So if you remember, we just connected 3 switches in physical topology, and these things are just sitting idle. So that is the reason in a logical, you can see it is not connected. But let's say, let's do one thing very quickly. If I want to connect, let's say this ASA firewall, and it will be my straight through cable. Let's say Ethernet 0/0 with the fast Ethernet 0/22. So these are 2 connected. Now, when I will go into the logical topology, you can see it is connected. Okay, so you can go either way. You can create your topology here, and then you can go into the physical topology, or the vice versa. But I like this kind of way, like go into the physical, you have like, you know, the actual view, like you have the rack and you're just sliding those switches inside it, and then you are connecting with these ports, and then you can come back and see what you have done. Okay, then we have these simulations, and I'm going to discuss about this simulation later on in the subsequent slides. And then if you want to save this one, you can go and save this file, and then you can run again, and you will see the same topology where you left off. So any confusion here until here?
I think it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. So this is it. This is more than enough in a Cisco packet tracer. And then further you can, you know, dig deep, and you can add more devices as we will move along in the high concepts like ASA firewall, something. Then you can add these ASA firewalls as well, routers as well.